Ambassador Chen stood in the empty chamber of the Galactic Council, her footsteps echoing against marble floors that had once welcomed humanity with false promises. The holographic projectors hummed their final message: species designation, human, status, exiled. The words burned in crimson across every surface. Barbaric, they had called humanity. Too aggressive, too unpredictable. The Council's verdict had been unanimous. 47 civilizations, some spanning millennia, had voted to cast Earth into the darkness beyond recognized space. Their reasoning was clinical, delivered without emotion by the Zorathian Prime Speaker. Humanity's tendency toward conflict, their stubborn independence, their refusal to abandon outdated concepts like national sovereignty. Even after achieving spaceflight, Chen had argued. She had pleaded. She had presented centuries of human art, philosophy, and scientific achievement. None of it mattered. The Council had made its decision. The journey back to Earth took 3 months. Chen watched through the viewport as the gleaming stations of Council space gave way to the frontier, then to the void, and finally to the small blue marble that had birthed her species. She carried with her not just the news of exile, but something far more valuable: complete recordings of every Council session, every technological specification she had been allowed to glimpse, every weakness she had observed in their grand civilization. The world leaders assembled in Geneva received the news in stunned silence. Some wept, others raged. President Okonkwo of the African Union spoke first. "Then we build alone." What followed was not revenge, but transformation. Humanity had always possessed one advantage that puzzled the older races: adaptability. While the Zorathians had perfected their crystalline technology over 10,000 years, and the Kelvorians had optimized their bioships across 8 millennia, humans had progressed from horse-drawn carriages to faster-than-light travel in less than 3 centuries. The Council had called this recklessness. They would soon learn to call it something else. Dr. Sarah Okafor led the Genesis Initiative from a facility carved into the dark side of Luna. Her team numbered in the thousands, drawn from every nation, every background. The Council's technology had been impressive but stagnant. Humanity's was wild, experimental, dangerous. They combined quantum computing with AI systems that made Council scientists uncomfortable, merged organic neural interfaces with mechanical precision that the biopurists of Kelvoria would have deemed heretical. Within 5 years, Earth's first true warship emerged from the orbital shipyards. The Prometheus was unlike anything in Council space. It didn't rely on a single technology but integrated dozens. Fusion cores wrapped in quantum shielding, railguns that could accelerate projectiles to relativistic speeds, drone swarms controlled by networked human operators whose reaction times had been enhanced through careful augmentation. But Admiral Marcus Reeves understood that a single ship, no matter how advanced, did not make an empire. Humanity needed allies, resources, and territory. They needed to prove the Council wrong. The Outer Rim contained hundreds of species that had been deemed unworthy of Council membership. Some were too primitive, others too fractious. Many had been conquered or absorbed by Council members in everything but name, their resources extracted, their cultures slowly eroding. These became humanity's focus. The first contact was with the Threxians, a quadrupedal species whose homeworld had been stripped of rare minerals by Zorathian mining consortiums. Captain Maria Santos approached not with weapons but with contracts, fair trade agreements, defensive pacts, technological exchanges. The Threxians, accustomed to exploitation, were suspicious. Then humanity delivered on every promise. Word spread through the frontier like wildfire. The humans, the exiled barbarians, were offering something the Council never had: partnership between equals. The Kaldrith clans, fierce warriors who had been denied Council membership for refusing to abandon their tribal structures, found humanity's respect for diverse governance refreshing. The Silicate Collective, silicon-based life forms invisible to most Council sensors, discovered that human flexibility extended to accepting intelligence in any form. The nomadic fleets of Vesper, wanderers who possessed no homeworld, were offered sanctuary in human-protected space. Within 20 years, Earth had not built a fleet. It had built an alliance. The Terran Commonwealth emerged not through conquest but through mutual benefit. 53 species, each maintaining their sovereignty, united under principles that humanity had learned through centuries of bloody history: self-determination, mutual defense, free exchange of ideas and goods, and the right of every sapient being to chart their own destiny. The council noticed too late. Ambassador Tikral of the Zarathians arrived at Terra Station, the massive orbital construct that served as the Commonwealth's heart. He came expecting primitive facilities and desperate barbarians. Instead, he found a thriving cosmopolitan center, where humans worked alongside Threxians, Kaldreth warriors trained with human marines, and Silicate collective members interfaced with quantum computers that pushed the boundaries of known science. Chen, now Secretary General of the Commonwealth, received him in a chamber designed to accommodate the physiologies of a dozen species. She was older now, silver threading her hair, but her eyes held something that made Tikral uncomfortable: certainty. The council wishes to reconsider its previous position, Tikral began, his translator rendering his crystalline harmonics into diplomatic standard. We would like to extend an invitation. No. The word hung in the air. Tikral's bio-readings showed confusion. No one refused the council. Humanity appreciates the council's evolution of perspective, Chen continued, her tone professional but unyielding. However, the Commonwealth is not interested in membership. We have built something different here, something better. We don't need the council's approval. We never did. She gestured to the viewport where dozens of ships moved in organized chaos, human cruisers alongside Kaldreth fighters, Threxian transports protected by silicate drones, all bearing the combined emblems of their respective nations and the Commonwealth they had chosen to build together. Tell your council that humanity bears no grudge, Chen said. But we're no longer interested in begging for seats at tables where we're not wanted. We built our own table, and everyone is welcome here. Tikral returned to council space with his report. The debate that followed would last months, but the conclusion was already written in the stars. The balance of galactic power had shifted, not through war, but through something the council had forgotten in their millennia of stagnation: vision. Humanity had been exiled from the Galactic Council. In response, they had built not just a fleet, but something far more enduring: an empire of hope, built on the radical premise that the exiled, the overlooked, and the rejected could forge their own destiny among the stars. And across the Commonwealth, on 100 worlds in 12 languages, one phrase echoed: humanity had shown them the way.